In today's video, how do you calculate how many calories you need to lose weight?
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and thank you for joining me for today's video where we are going to discuss how to figure out how many calories you need to lose weight. And I'm going to give you a place to go to get a number. I'm going to give you some macronutrient ratios to use, and I'm also going to talk about what the best diet is going to be to get you to your goals. So today's question came from my Instagram direct message. So if you're not following along on my Instagram, I'll put it here on the screen for you. If you like, you can direct message me a question, and as I get a chance, I will answer it and put it here on my channel for everyone to see, so I can help everyone that has a question similar to yours. Now, today's question is something I've discussed multiple times, but I feel it's worth addressing again because as my coaching kind of grows and as my experience kind of expands, I find I have different perspectives. And so what I'd like to do today is talk about how many calories you need to lose weight. And so the question, I'll put it here on the screen, specifically comes from a guy who's interested in getting from 215 pounds down to 195 pounds at 6'1", and it sounds simple enough, but let's really talk about the first part of this question. And it says, how many calories do I need to lose weight? Well, that is a loaded question. So before we get too far off track, I'm gonna give you a resource. So if you have no idea how many calories you should be eating, there is a resource called calculator.net. I'll put a link below in the description box where you can go in and type in just some very basic information like your age, like how frequently you train, and it will give you a calorie range for someone that's active or inactive. This is going to be a good indicator of where to get started if you have no idea what you're doing. However, this is a little bit short-sighted in my experience because these numbers can be wildly off, okay? Certainly what you're going to need to do is really pay attention to what's going on. So if you put the numbers in that it tells you and you eat those calories for a week and you don't lose any weight, well, by definition, you're not in a caloric deficit, okay? Especially if you find that the scale is starting to tick upwards. You might actually be in a caloric surplus. Well, why is that? Well, our bodies adapt to how we eat and live over our lifetimes, meaning our metabolisms are adaptive. They are not static. So how many calories you can eat from year to year might adjust. So the most important thing is to be aware of that so that you can make this change. Now, what do we do if we don't want to take a guess? Well, the way I approach things as a coach who helps people lose weight, gain weight, is I do what's called a diet recall. For someone that's not familiar with how many calories or macronutrients they're taking in, macronutrients being protein, carbs, and fats, well, I just have them do a diet recall using an app like MyFitnessPal, which is free to download. You can simply plug in the foods that you eat on a daily basis. It's got barcode scanners. It makes the process very simple. And by simply plugging in everything that you eat and drink for several days that contains calories, you're going to get a range of calories that you're taking in on average. Now, what you'll usually find is that you're a little bit off in your estimations. Most people are off quite a bit in how much fat and carbs that they're taking in, and they overestimate how much protein they're taking in. So, my friend, now that you've got this information, we can start to look at how to create a caloric deficit. The two ways to create a caloric deficit are through restricting calories or through increasing activity. Using a combination of the two is going to be your best approach, okay? So, what macronutrient ratios would I suggest for someone once you get your calorie range? Well, being that you are a bodybuilder and you like to lift weights, I like to keep protein at a minimum of a gram per pound when we start to get into a higher BMI or near obesity. Then we can use lean body mass as a better indicator of how much protein we should take in, okay? From there, I will simply use a calculation of about 20 to 25% of your daily total calories as fat, and then the rest of those calories are going to be carbohydrates that are going to be used to fuel our workouts. And I usually have my clients kind of prioritize carbohydrates around their training to make sure their pre and post workout nutrition is kind of optimized so that the best conditions are in place for us to get a good workout in, okay? Not something that you have to do, but certainly as calories and body weight go down, it is very important to start paying a little bit more attention to your performance in the gym, all right? So what is the perfect diet? Well, I can think of no better place to go than a video that Stan Efferding made yesterday on what the perfect diet is. And it's something I've been saying for a long time, and it's not originally from me, but I've had some amazing coaches and mentors. The best diet is going to be the one that you can be consistent with. It doesn't matter if you are vegan. It doesn't matter if you want to do keto or the carnivore diet. It matters if you can see yourself sticking with this approach to nutrition for years to come. I myself coach what's called flexible dieting, where we track our macronutrients and we use the foods that we enjoy in a consistent manner. This allows a sustainable approach. So when we're subtracting calories or adding calories, we're still using food sources that we enjoy. There's not a complete departure from what we like in order to reach a goal. Because if you use that approach, when the goal is met, you're going to run into problems and likely see rapid weight gain after the goal. However, if you use an approach that you can be consistent with and that you enjoy, when the goal is met, it's not the end of the story. You just keep going, okay? So that is the best diet, okay? The best approach for you. However you can see yourself maintaining and sustaining your goals. Well, that's going to be it for me today, guys. If you have any questions, please put them in comments below. I love hearing feedback from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, or if you have questions, you can send them to my Instagram, or you can leave them in the comments below and I can get them there. All right, guys, thank you. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.